Do you know these people's names yet? What are we talking about?
I forgot what we're talking about.
Even better. Come over a little bit. Did you grind it out today? Did you? And today's gonna be a doozy of a topic. Hey, what's up? I'm Rashad.
And I'm Kesha.
Hanging with the Joneses, episode number 66. Thank you for
long pause.
Thank you for being here. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. You know, we do this every week for the most part, unless it gets drastic. But yeah, had a good response to last episode, and thank you guys for watching it on YouTube. Make sure you tell your people to subscribe as well. So today, I want to talk about Married at First Sight, and this is one of those shows that I'm forced to watch because the TV's on and I'm trying to go to sleep, and it's on, and then Kesha wants me to have a feeling or talk about the show as she's watching the show. So I am then forced to engage myself in this tomfoolery, and that's how I am aware of these reality shows on Lifetime, right? Yeah. On Lifetime.
So low key means that he likes it, just don't want to tell anybody he likes it. Don't try to bump me. He likes the show. Just don't want to admit it's his guilty pleasure. Go ahead.
I don't got no guilt about nothing. It's interesting. The premise, of course, as you guys probably already know, it's an arranged marriage, and
Married at First Sight.
Yeah, they pair off people according to some sort of metrics that they use.
It's supposed to be like science, so it's supposed to be some kind of assessment they did, and they're kind of the right match.
Yeah.
Spiritually, it's supposed to be like a holistic view. However, what they usually do is, let's say if you like the ones who like to go out or really athletic, they usually pair you with someone with the total opposite interest that you have in, and kind of say as well, you need this person because the other one needs to show you how to not be so high strung or not to work out so much. Like they're kind of covered up as you need them to teach you the opposite.
Now that you say it like that, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Wife Swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of that.
I asked him how he know that. He likes these shows.
I hate that show too. Oh my God, I used to watch the heck out of that show. All right, but yeah, so this week we'll talk about the Zack and Michaela, the African American delegation on the show.
First of all, this season, I don't think anybody gonna make it to the finish line. I think everybody gonna be divorced. It's like I'm not sure there's really a season finale because it's like who's gonna be together for the season finale?
Yeah, everybody's gonna be like, nah, we ain't doing this no more.
We're like, duh, we see that in episode 1.
I don't know how they're gonna stretch that 2 hours out this season. It's gonna be crazy.
But Zack and Michaela, they're one of the couples that were matched, and Michaela has an anger issue, which is, and that's probably an understatement.
Put it lightly.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly, and it triggers Zack. What you say? Trigger? He has a right to be like, oh no,
he's
something
not being,
is wrong.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not being triggered. His warning signs are going off.
Yeah, the first time she went off on him, it was really because he left. Now, don't get me wrong, he did so like he left without telling her, but then it's some kind of unclarity about that because he said he did. It's a he said she said thing, but like she went off, like off. And mind you, this is Married at First Sight, so there are newlyweds. They're still newlywed. So you would think they would kind of still have some kind of like,
not even that, but they don't really know each other.
You would still have the feeling like I just got married, I just did this, I'm on TV. Like the newness of everything creates that honeymoon experience.
Yeah, but that's on top of him. Then he had to get quarantined.
He had to get quarantined, so they couldn't really go on honeymoon because he caught COVID. From one of his groomsmen or best man, someone that went to one of his friends that went to the wedding. He caught COVID. So by the time they came back, it was like day 2. They was in the house together, and she exploded on him.
Yeah. After her like being like really excited and happy for him to actually be there and be around him, you know, the whole getting to know each other part of the process. And yeah, it was really odd.
And that was, you know, and he said it then that was a warning sign for him because he's been in other relationships and he know this is not a type of relationship. But even just kind of sitting right there for about trusting yourself. If you see, in his situation is kind of different because this is TV show and you agree to this marriage. But in real life, if you get a warning sign, go, leave.
Yeah.
You don't need to be confirmed 3 times before you can, you know, you get a warning. Trust yourself that something is wrong. You know, and I had to learn when they say, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. If there's any doubt, there's no benefits. Get out. Get out, Carrie Ann.
Another reference somebody knows.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Maybe. So that's really what like I'm talking about today is just the whole red flag of it all. Like when you see the signs, do you ignore the signs or do you speed through them joints? Because even though they have this dynamic where we gotta kind of work it out, see how this goes. We still it's like a 2-month process, right? Yeah, like we got to do this stuff for like 2 months, and there's a day we come together and we meet and sit down with the professionals, and then we say, hey, we gonna do this or not, for like forever, or we gonna, because basically they make you get an actual divorce. You can't get an annulment, which is kind of odd to me, seeing how you don't really have nothing together.
Well, you consummate the marriage,
but still,
I believe most laws, if you consummate the marriage, you have to get a divorce and not an annulment.
I don't know about that, but yeah,
You can Google it.
I'm not gonna do any research.
But so yeah, you can't get an annulment. You have to get a divorce.
Yeah, which is still like a weird thing for me. But they have to do the whole thing, and the entire time, especially like those two, like for me, has been the most volatile and very almost Jekyll and Hyde type relationship.
Well, no, the Asian couple.
Yeah, but like
they're the same ones.
I mean, to me, it's like he is like really on some other stuff.
He's a jerk. He's the male version of her.
No, I can't even say that because he not in there tearing stuff up.
Yes, he is. See, that's the thing. You have to recognize because he's not physically tearing stuff up, we don't recognize the emotionally. He's emotionally tearing her down.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it like that, therapist, you can't say that.
And that's even worse. The emotional, he is tearing her down. Like, I'm not attracted to you. I don't like that. He's emotionally abusive to her. So yeah, it is the same. But once again, both of them different sex. She's
a female.
She's a female. No, I wasn't gonna say that. She's on the Asian descent, and the guy is African American. But both of them having that feeling. I need to work it out. I need to work it out. I need to work it out. But at what point do you call it quits? I mean, because both of them, I would say, they took a lot of abuse. And then with Zack and Michaela, it finally exploded last episode. It exploded where it's not funny.
Like, what happened?
First, they was at the barn. He was like, I think he said something like he's not sure. Like, if they had to decide today, they would get a divorce.
Oh, okay.
And something happened along the lines, and she was like, and she started running, literally. She was like, and started running, just started running down the street. And he was like, I know he was embarrassed. He was like, he was rubbing his head. Then they came back, and I don't know what happened in the house, but I know eventually he was like, she asked him to sleep in separate beds. So he was like, we're going to sleep in separate beds. I might as well go home and sleep in my own bed. And she was first like, no, don't do that, no. Then she was like, so she was like, if that's what you want to do it. So he's like, oh, cool. Packed his stuff. Then she came back, I never told you that. Like, she was lying a lot. I'm not sure if she was consciously lying or she was just emotional. So he started packing up. She's like, and this one I really thought it was going to get abusive because she was trying to block him in. And I was like, oh my gosh, he might hit her. And you can hear him saying, stop touching me, stop touching me. So I think she was actually putting her hands on him. and she was trying to block the door. So he finally got out. She flipped over the table, almost fell, jumped over. Like it was like a scene from the circus. Like did a backflip, like da. So the production is holding her back. She's turning red. Her nose is red. Like, it was like really like, oh my gosh, when you get home and look at this, are you proud of yourself?
Oh, that's a real mom thing to say.
Really? And I'm looking, come on, if that was one of your family, you sit up here, you'd be like, gosh, that's so embarrassing.
Like that.
But warning signs, red flags. How long should you keep on? Or should you keep on because of a situation and ignore the red flags?
Explain.
So because they're part of this whole social experiment, should he keep on and disregard all the red flags just because I'm part of this experiment? Or should he like, it's time to buy out? Because if it was reversed and we heard him, like we heard her say, don't put your hands on me, don't put your... The next thing we heard was, whoop, we seen them sirens coming.
Yeah.
How much is enough before it escalates to that point?
And that's a part of the show that really makes me upset the most is a lot of these couples, it's just like, they're just doing this for TV. Like you can I know they say they experts and pairing them up, but it's clearly a play just for like, if this show has zero drama, then this really isn't a compelling TV show. That's why they do these shows. The first main reason why you do reality shows is because they're cheap to make. Like it's extremely cheap to make. Their budget has gone up because last 3 seasons. Matter of fact, since the pandemic hit, when they've been staying in the same place and all that stuff. But outside, like before then, they going back to their own home. Right? You know what I'm saying? They trying to figure all that stuff out. But now,
I think they pay for.
It was like the vacation, like and
the honeymoon may have been like you just going to Florida.
Yeah, like but now they actually have like a mid season retreat, like the one that was on right then. Like so, the production has gone production value has gone up, but they're cheap to make. And then two, the human element of reality TV, there must be some form of heightened conflict.
Yeah, must be a villain.
Yeah, and there definitely has to be a villain. That's a good point. And that heightened conflict has to be so compelling that people start to take sides when it comes to the show. So you see, like if you go on social media and the night that the show is on, it trends every time. Which show comes on Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Come on Wednesday. So every Wednesday at around 8 o'clock, we're in the first site, hashtag MAFS is trending. Sometimes it be people's names be trending because that's how many people watch the show. So if that's going to be a microcosm of their wider audience, then they're going to keep on feeding the algorithm because we know this bears fruit.
And also a lot of their couples, I wouldn't say it's more couples divorcing together.
Definitely, by far.
I remember one season the wife had to put a restraining order out on it because the guy became physically and verbally and emotionally abusive. So she really had to put a restraining order out on him. But also, this also tells me that we can't leave everything to science. We can't just leave out God and we just gonna let science do it.
Which brings me another issue with this series. You have the God, quote unquote, God representative there, with Pastor Calvin, right? So if he's supposed to be pastoral and he can clearly see the issues, what is keeping him from not intervening on some of these issues?
That's why I wonder if he sees issues, and this could be the art of cutting because they know the story, so they can kind of cut even the when they're advertisement of something, they can cut it out. Yeah. But even sometimes when I'm watching editing, thank you. Even when sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, don't pick that dude because that dude is no good. And that's the one they pick. Even last year, I'm like, don't pick him. But also, I don't know if that's me or that's the way they edit it because they know what's going on. But
sometimes it's like.
Some of them was like they are not ready, and some couples don't go together.
So even like dude last year, black dude last year. No,
I forget his name.
I forgot his name too. What's his name? Chris?
Yeah.
Yes. With him, if they would have done just a ounce more vetting.
See that he was just engaged?
Yeah, only thing they had to do was go on social media and find out. So that's why I'm like, how much digging are y'all really doing? Are y'all just taking people by face value or based on an interview? Or y'all
they doing a background check.
Yo, like
they doing probably STDs.
Nah, like but even regular jobs will do like a social media check. Like, so why wouldn't this large corporation do that? Like, that's the part that kind of like that's what I'm saying. Like, they act like they ain't nobody knew. Again, they doing it for TV. Why would you have Paige? Why would you have her go through all of that like that?
But even with that, okay, still go back. How much do you take?
And she took a whole lot.
And even though this is TV, how much in our personal life do we take of the sake of we don't trust ourselves? We are ignoring the red flags or warning signs, or I'm getting the benefit of the doubt. How much when is it enough? Because the other one, I don't know, the guy we talked about, Zack, I'm hoping he gave up. Like, come on, let's just call this quits. Let's call this an even split. But I'm sure he's not. I'm sure we're going to see the next episode. He's going to be up there and they're going to be together. Because
the thing about that is, when it's something that you always wanted, you yearn for, it's a core desire of yours, you're going to work it out as long as you can, because this is something that I've wanted. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you being this person and you envision your wedding day, you envision your honeymoon, you envision growing together, you envision family, rearing children, graduation. You know what I'm saying? All these events, and then you get to the moment where it's there, and then you place your trust in other people's hands, and then it's all shot to ish before it even starts.
But see, but that's even the thing. You imagine these events. What happened to the daily stuff? You imagine the events. And that's another problem is when you're dating or is something for potential. Potential may never come through. So even I'm marrying somebody because I have potential. That is the worst situation to get in a potential ship. Because while you have this potential for this person might not ever have that thought of I wanted to be that.
Sure.
So you holding out, and that's the same thing. You holding out for this person to be your dream. That person never wanted to be your dream and don't even know what your dream looked like.
Yeah, but I'm sure that Zack's dream wasn't Michaela going off for some dumb stuff.
No, I wouldn't say that either. But other than them, no one had a plan of what marriage really is, other than having kids and having a family and going on trips. There wasn't a plan of like, okay, let's talk about finances. Have you ever had a relationship? A lot of that stuff. And they weren't allowed to, also going back, they weren't allowed to really expect because it's a social experiment. But I feel a lot of it is a fantasy of how, and a lot of them said it, like, now they're married, it's like, Dad, this is nothing like I thought. Because you going on that trip might be once a year. So you have to live
if
until that. Right. You having kids, you might find out that you all can't have kids together.
Or having kids really sucks and you don't even want to be a parent anymore.
Right. So it is, or you all haven't come to agreement if you want to have kids at all.
Yeah.
So it's more to that. Also, I think part of this social experiment, you really have to know yourself. And that's even with dating. You really have to know yourself. And a lot of them have said, I thought, and they would say like, I like this, but when they get what they ask for, they're like, oh, I found out I don't like that. But this is specifically, you say, I'm this person, this is who I'm at, this is what I like. And then they give that, some of them that have actually given that to them, and they're like, I don't like this. Because on paper, and that, once again, the God thing, I feel like God has to put people together. Because on paper, two people can look perfect together. When they actually put them together, it's like, this is a disaster. They're too much alike. This is never going, or too so opposite that this is never going to work. Now, I do believe there should be a kind of opposite, but it shouldn't be like a total opposite. Like we need something in common other than we're both people.
For like even like the like the white couple that one is a Democrat, as others is a Republican. I'm like, why did y'all and they're in Texas? I'm like, why did y'all think that would work?
And he like, I don't like her.
Why would y'all think that would work? Like, I mean, And that's not even somebody that he would be attracted to as well. So somebody's
she's a redhead. And that's one thing. That's one thing. I'm not sure if he even explained that. Like, I don't want. But I think sometimes, once again, you getting caught up in the fantasy.
Yeah.
That you forget that even this fantasy is connected to people. So once things are connected to people, it can't be necessarily calculated. Because people we'll give you anything.
Yeah, like the ain't a whole lot of constants. It's a lot of variables with people.
Yeah, and even the one that he even calls her bougie, I forget all the name. He has the patience of Job. I'm like, she was like, I want to go horseback riding. He took her to horseback riding. This is too slow. Like, she complained about everything. I was like, why would you put them together? Why? She's a complaint. He's like, when did you see that was a good match? What on their profile says it's a good match? And I'm like, where's the therapist? Because there is a psychologist. I want to see the psychologist actually do some mental health. I want to see the psychologist do some psychotherapy.
Not happening. Because you know what happened when that happened last time, right?
Okay, a few years back, a psychologist actually ran off with one of the contestants. Oh, yeah, the psychologist took the contestant man, and they actually now probably married by now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's the truth. But I'm just kind of like, even though I agree with the pastor, I'm like, why do they have the pastor and the sociologist talking instead of the psychologist?
Yeah, that's really weird because, like, that old white lady, she don't even be up there half the time no more. And then there was also another man that was on the show. He ain't up there no more. Remember that? It was like he wasn't white, dude. He looked like almost.
What was his role?
I don't know. I think he was like the like another spiritual leader or something.
I don't remember.
You remember that? He had low cut. He looked almost like Middle Eastern. I forgot his name, but he was. I remember on
was it before the pastor?
Early seasons. No, Pastor Kyle was like that too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Pastor Kyle
got more of a role. Because it was. Oh yeah, they definitely upped his contract. Because it was one season. It was like 5 of them. It was Pastor Cal. It was the
first season.
It was the lady that's up there right now. The sociologist, the old white lady, and that guy. They had like a whole round table of people. Mm-hmm. So now it's just like 3. It's really 2.5 because the psychologists don't be barely up there.
I'm like, I don't know why they don't.
And they'll have like the family mental MF. I don't know the acronym for that.
The family what?
Mental family therapist. How you?
MFT.
Yeah. Like she's up there a lot.
But she's a psychologist.
She is?
She's a psychologist.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a psychologist. But so, red flags. If you see them, stop. And that's the hard part. When you see them, stop letting other people tell you don't see it.
Yeah.
Stop. Trust yourself.
Yeah. Don't get gaslighted.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's heavy because if you in your heart of hearts know something is wrong, then something is wrong. Like even if you may not understand it, like you may actually just have like a bodily reaction to something. Something happens every time, and you don't understand why you're having this reaction. Then there is something wrong in the midst of what's going on, and you're gonna have to identify what is triggering that reaction or emotion. And that's hard to do, especially if you haven't been trained or reared or been in therapy or even understand or have had a conversation with people who say, hey, so when this happens, what do you do? And like they'll go through the whole process because you just be living your whole life just being triggered and just reacting like Michaela.
A lot of them, Michaela, I'm like, there's both of them. Michaela's like, there's some individual counseling that needs to be done.
I feel like they should have done individual counseling before this even show even started. Like after you do the process, they should have a process of where you do individual counseling. So when they have all the stuff come up, they can have something to refer back to instead of just starting from zero and really be out here just, scraping that bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, because even with that anger, when did that start? Why do you have to be that angry? Like, what's coming on? And with Zach, what's the why did you feel like you have to take it? And even the way he expressed himself about wanting to be married, like he was so emotional. I want to know the background, like what's going on with the marriage. Like, what do you perceive marriage as to be so, you know what I mean? What do you perceive marriage as? And even the Asian couple with her, same question, like what makes you want to take this? What's going on? I know some of it could be cultural.
True.
And even for him, like what's going on in your life that you feel like you have to treat women this way? Because he don't treat the men like that.
No, and on top of that, like he
has daddy issues.
And he's never had like a real relationship. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's always like, you know, he's always being like too quirky to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So you finally get one, and now you want to be a daggone a doofus about stuff, which is like really, it's whack.
And even the other couple that he considers her bougie, where what happened in your life that you feel like you have to control everything? And when do you feel excitement for anything? Because literally everything, he can do exactly what she asks, and she would complain about something. Like they went to the result. Oh, they have this, what? Like this don't look nice. It's like something she always complains about. Even so much you can see the other cast members, like they don't really talk to her. So they kind of like really don't talk to her, and she probably prefers it like that as well. But what happened in your life that you kind of isolate yourself and go on this other, and then you judge everything? What are you feeling judgmental about within yourself?
Very true. We don't have time to psychoanalyze everybody.
No, and I don't have her here either, but I just kind of wonder.
Yeah,
red flags.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that's the thing, the red flags.
We know. We don't have to explain it.
No, we do.
No, you don't.
We have people all age.
But this...
Or age. They might not understand that red flags right now is a thing that's trending on social media. You can't never assume.
Even how you said that sounded so old.
I was going to say something, but
I'm glad you restrain yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Soon this goes
therapy.
Soon and very
therapy
soon.
Works. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we got for today. If you say this the whole time, you're the real MVP. We thank you. We love you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you let somebody know about this. If you think somebody will benefit, share it. Also, if you want to really help us, join the Patreon. Hang with the Joneses Patreon.com/Hang with the Joneses. And you can look out for us. We can have even more stuff to do. Yeah. Other than that, that's all we got. Oh yeah, Dune review. Me and Maddie watched Dune last week. It was interesting to say the least. And yeah, we see you guys next week.